Welcome to the top 8 grand finale and top deck list from the release week, release day of a Rise Heart being here. Starting this off with Kashtira versus Kashtira. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, and watching as much of the video as you can. That's why we keep on uploading these for you. And with that said, begin.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
Unicorn, Ashing Unicorn. Not a big fan of that. We're gonna have to be able to triple tactics talent here. Birth could potentially normal summon the Scareclaw Kashtira if we really wanted to. Goodbye to that limited to 1 Zeus. That is a really good card to be banishing with the Unicorn. Did not draw into the Theosis, so it actually just kind of worked out. So we're going to be additionally normal summoning, not additionally, but just normal summoning without tributing, making a Shangri and passing. Now Shangri in the mirror match activating gives them the ability to summon an Arise over any of their Kashtira monsters. So we're doing it, and we're not going to be max seeing. Normal, special summon the Unicorn, flip it down. Good thing we have the Birth into the Scareclaw Kashtira, which we could just summon Arise on top of it, just like that. So the Fenrir has not activated, and it being on the field has not added any value to what we're doing. And now we have a free Arise Heart. So should we have even activated this? I know it's weird to not activate it, but if you know it's the mirror match, that's a different situation. Get suck and suck up the banished cards. We need 3 material to then have that quick effect to banish a card in the field, which we're gonna have. Very good, triple material. And now we're ready to get banishing whatever we want. To battle we go. Okay, to make the Gamma activatable, sure. Okay, damage step Gamma, it negates the activation. That's a mandatory activation. It's not like he screwed up and played into Gamma. It was just perfect. Very well done. I guess if you really thought that was gonna happen, you would maybe on the attack activate to banish the Birth, but then they have another Birth anyway. Just very well done. Good job, Matrix. Matrix is going to be attempting to get that Max C out of the hand before we commit to a Birth play. So we're going to have to be dealing with that Max C, or no, I'm not. I don't have to deal with it. You can't make me. Omega is going to be returning the Shangri into the graveyard here. We're going to be preemptively Max-ing in the standby phase. Despite being Max-seed, we do not care. Yuri also is not technically playing Kashtira. This is Punk Kashtira. It is still Kashtira. Reborn the Unicorn. Unicorn in... Wow, drew the Ash. Off the top of the deck with that Maxi, stopping the Theosis into further plays here. But how much more would we have wanted to do under Maxi? Activating, banishing the Shangri, and maybe there's no more Shangri. There's one left in the extra deck here. Doubling up on a lot of the extra deck monsters to play around the Unicorn. And Omega is back. Using the Birth, birthing our Fenrir. That's going to be triggering the Birth to banish 3 cards face down from their graveyard. Triggering our Birth to banish your graveyard face down. And then we're going to search for a monster that we can normal summon, which will be the Unicorn into the Theosis. We're going to banish a card from the extra deck, the final copy of the Shangri. Shangri is no more, triggering the Fenrir. 5,200 damage on the field. Now we have lethal. And just like that, Matrix taking a Game 1 victory. Kashtira versus Kashtira is feeling really basic. It's no real big, huge plays, just back and forth, kind of unga-bunga. We'll top it at game 2. Starting off with the field spell, Ash to negate the search for the very much needed Kashtira to use our dead Theosis on. All right, it's going to be all up to the punks. Got to punk it up. Our final draw, and we could special summon the Xiamen if we want to. What did we accomplish, though? Chair Kusai into the Amazing Dragon whenever we want could spin 2 cards in the field. Spin 2. Let's see how that works. Unicorn searching for the Birth, and the spin happens on a separate chain. So we can't chain to the Theosis to spin back the Unicorn to stop it. And now we're going to have to deal with Fenrir, which will also be activating with your Synchro. So we could spin these 2 back, but then they could summon them right back onto the field, making the Amazing Dragon. Amazing Dragon, activate, spin back 2. Also get banished face down. Jam Session also going to be drawing 1 off of that. Xiamen boosting the attack of the Shirakusai. You could call this a chain link block if you want to. Got emergency teleport for next turn. That's good. We could just re-special summon. And we could just get both of them back in the field like nothing happened. So we forced out the disruption so we can make our real plays in main phase 2. Special summoning the Rise Heart going into the Shang-Ri. Now, Rise Heart is going to get banging. Banish the Bang, banish 3 face down, trigger the Shang-Ri, bang the Shang-Ri, add a monster back to the hand, then summon it back onto the field here. Nothing to call by. And we have the Dark Arm Dragon of Annihilation here to pop cards on the field. Let's get popping. We're going to detach, pop and called by a card from the graveyard, which means we can't pop again because we need a card in the graveyard to activate the Dark Arm's Annihilation. Quite interesting here. That's going to trigger the effect of the Theosis when being banished. We're also triggering the Birth because you activate a spell to banish 3 of your cards face down. Add a banished Kashtira back to our hand, which could be the Big Bang. We're going to get ready to get banging. If you summon more than 1 monster in the field whenever we want, we could reduce your monsters to 1, banishing them face down. Now we are continually attaching. We got 4 material, detach 3, banishing the field spell, then equipping another card back onto the Arise. And just as I said, the Dark Arm cannot activate again. Alrighty. Shirakusai is attempting to fusion summon. We're going to chain summon a monster in response to that fusion summon. Quite interesting. We're going to be using the hand here. Making our Rising Carp. Rising Carp is going to be summoning a monster from the deck, but it's not a quick effect, so we can banish it before it activates. Banishing another 3 cards face down for the grave. The Birth is actually impacting this duel negatively for Punk. The face down cards, we can't interact with them. Rise Heart activating. Big Bang banishing everything on the field except 1 monster. The back rows do not get banished though. Banishing the Rising Carp, leaving the Xiamen on the fields. Now we all have not activated the effective banisher card in the field yet. So we could Big Bang, then banish the Xiamen if we want to. Now, the Big Bang being banished triggers the effect to summon a Fenrir onto the fields. So we could Fenrir banish. We still have a Rise Heart banish and Fenrir banish. We are now banishing. Banish that Rise Heart off of the field. That was a normal summon Rise Heart, so we were not locked into Exceed Summoning, but the Theosis, chaining to the Theosis, if you're going to try to summon a monster off of that, is a really good play to just remove the monster or flip it face down in response to that Theosis, which does lock you into Exceed Summoning. That's a 2-0. Pure Kashtira taking out Punk. And the Amazing Dragon there, which is the big difference of you playing Punk with your Kashtira, it wasn't amazing. Caliber into the Striker Dragon. We're going to be searching for our boot sector launch. We are under a maxi, unfortunately. We're going to pop ourselves, add back the Caliber, and then just end our turn. So we could have that open field to use Gamma to negate any monster effect here. We have Herald of the Abyss just chilling there, ready to deal with a Purely deck. And maybe that's why Purely did not do so well today. Caliber not being negated by the Gamma. We're going to be saving it for something else. Branded Fusion, sending the Mercurier and Albaz into our Rinbrum, which does not play into the Gamma, so when are we gamming? Banish a Mercurier. Mercurier is going to activate to add an Albaz monster from the deck, which will be the Blazing Cartesia, which could special summon itself onto the field if we have an Albaz. We are now going to be summoning our Bestial Lubellion. Is this the moment to negate the Lubellion from setting up a back row card? It is not. We are really holding on to this. Fusion summoning into our Gangrenol. Gangrenol could be chained to the Gamma summoning onto the field to summon an extra deck monster like a Perskenian. We have Branded Loss adding the Mercurier though, sending an Albion from the deck to the graveyard. Albion sending a Brandon White from the deck to the grave to add back to the hand with the effect of the Retribution. We could fuse with the graveyard if we want, if we have an Albaz in the graveyard, which we do. We're going to use that Branded in White. We cannot respond to the summon of the Lubellion. Can't Gamma, because the Lubellion set up the protection. Can't stop this. We now have a Mirror Jade. The entire field can attack with over 10,000 damage. We have the Serenir to block an attack, Now the Gangrenol is going to be activating to summon a Perscanian. And let's take out that Serenir. We still have over 8,000 damage, not having to even Mirror Jade Banish. It just like that. I apparently played through Gamma. Through Gamma and through Impermanence and a Bestial. And he had lethal damage. Very well done. Hajime. Thrust for the Max C. I'm ready for it. Are we thrusting into cards like Daruma or Dimensional Barrier? Is that the true anti-Max C way? Really? Really? You know, he did get Max C game 1, and then the second Max C just sent him into a fit of rage and back to Fortnite. Please trigger my thrust with that Gamma. I need it. So what happens when we thrust after the Gamma? Are we still in? And Gamma's on the field now. So we could thrust for something good to our hand to then use it right away, right? Surely. Okay, draw 2, that's good. We're back in, possibly, maybe. No, we're looking at the hand. We're not even drawing 2. We're gonna sit on that Ash. And, okay, we have Ash for the blue. Normal summon, Maxi, special summon blue. We can't really negate that because then it goes into a gigantic Spright. Boy, is this an issue. Negate the Jet from searching for something like a Smasher, the non-target banish. We could then go into the gigantic Spright here. Let's go. Sprite's still good, but not playing Gishki. What's going on? Where the Gishki at? Holy Gamma burst! Over 8,000 damage just like that. Buh! Boost! Lethal damage. Luigi always having an interesting win. Unbelievable. What's happening game 2? Nibiru. Summon 1, summon 2. I think to balance Nibiru should say on summon, draw a card so that you could Ash it. Otherwise, it's too broken. Gigantic Spright is going to be negated. Okay, we're on, I lost count of the summons. We're on summon number 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Uh-oh. Sunny Snitch, searching for the Kill. We already used up our normal summon, and now we are ready to get Nibiru'd. Special summon, and just like that, tributing the entire field, giving them a tiny token. 1,600, we do have Ash. Okay, we have Ash for Gigantic Spright, or Ash on the Sprint. People are not playing Sprint anymore. Elf Reborn, make Gigantic Spright, then you Ash. Perfect. It works out. We're good. Sprint's no longer a thing. It's crazy. Sprint Angler. They killed Sprint. Negate! And while we're negated from summoning, we're still 3,200. We're still quite large. And we could Zeus now. Yes, we will. We're going to down it into Zeus. Or Material Zeus. Our Sunny Snitch is giving our opponent confidence to not get impermanenced. Very good. Triple Tactics Talent. We got to get them to use the Zeus because the Imperm's no good. That's not going to allow our Triple Tactics Talent play. But we have Treat to special summon. Then the Zeus is coming. Yes. Now we Triple Tactics Talent. Do we take control, make a Zeus of our own? Oh, yes. That's why we're going to chain Zeus so that you're going to only have a 1 material Zeus. Okay, makes sense, but we still have the Zeus over the Zeus, but then our Zeus is no good. 3K. And Luigi's gonna top. Oh, what? No Zeus? Oh, you don't play Zeus? Or what happened to your Zeus? Where's Zeus? No Zeus. Why didn't you draw 2? Where's your Zeus, bro? What the heck? No Zeus? No Zeus? Because you play cherries. You're too busy cherrying the Arise and the Expurely Nor. You don't got Zeus. Zeus beat down. Now, what could we top deck into? Pretty much a lot of good cards besides that one. That was not good. We had Starter, any of the little girls that summon 1 from the deck would have been good. Emergency Teleport in Luigi's deck. Yeah, they did early into Spright's release, I think OCG was mostly doing that, playing Emergency Teleport just to get a level 2 on the field to then special summon the Sprites with. Very well done. Shokan into the gigantic Spright. Special summon from the deck are blue with the Gamma Burst. Surely at 3,400 life, we could definitely turn this into lethal damage. We have the Soul Sweeper to open up the field for lethal damage, even without needing to use that Gamma Burst. If you use it, it's BM. You best not use it. Lethal damage, respectfully winning the duel with no Gamma Burst on top of it. 2-0. Very well done. Labrynth versus Kashtira. This should be an interesting one. We are going to be going first against no hand traps whatsoever, but Cosmic Cyclone in the main. A lot of people in TCG love that card. Digging deep for that big welcome. The big counter to big welcome is Ash Blossom. We're going to Coup Clock, chain the Torby, and then the clock can summon itself onto the field, making our newly set card activatable, which would be the big welcome. Big welcome, summoning from the deck the Lovely. Lovely's gonna randomly pop a card from the hand, then recycle the big welcome back onto the field, and now making any newly drawn Ash Blossoms useless against your traps. They cannot chain a monster to the trap. Very good. Goodbye to the Cosmic Cyclone. And if you're main decking Eradicator, Eradicator could be pretty good against Kashtira. Would be knocking out mostly the entire hand here. And I do think we're potentially setting that up. We're going to not be big welcoming, chaining the lady to the big welcome. Now, the Called By and Book of Moon could potentially chain link block the lady from being able to set a card like Dimensional Barrier or the Eradicator. Ash being negated from being able to stop the Pot of Pee as we are digging 6 cards deep into our deck. What do we want? What do we want? What do you want? Talent is not live yet. We're going to add the Thrust. Well, no, the Talents is live because we did Ash. Book of Moon to chain link block the lady from setting a trap from the deck, which would then be usable with the clock. So no Dimensional Barrier play. Very well done. Returning back the lady, triggering the effect of the Ariana to grab the Chandelier. Now searching for that field spell. What are we thrusting into? Thrust and a Harpy's Feather Duster, really good in this matchup here. We're now going to be special summoning our Unicorn, searching for the Theosis, and we have no way to stop this. Kashtira surprisingly winning against a pretty good turn 1 setup from Labrynth, grabbing the Rise Heart, Shokan into the Shangri. Now special summon our Rise Heart, enable the easy summon of the Arise by banishing cards face down off the top of the deck. A 1-of field spell has now been banished face down, gone forever. It's now time to bang our Shangri. The Torby's not activatable as soon as an Arise Heart hits the field. So now is the last moment. We have to use it. Return back to the hand, come forth and summon the Fenrir, triggering the field. So to pop that newly set Welcome Labrynth to now make the Arise. And with a Rise, everything sent to the graveyard will be banished instead. Shang-Ri activating, locking a zone on the field that is big enough to take out the Lovely. Lovely is generally a 1-of. 1-of Lovely gone. Coup Clock, I'm seeing a lot of people play more than 1. 3,300 to the face. Good job, Konami, for that bug still being in the game. And setting up that triple tactics talent, which is, in fact, it was activatable if we did not, if they had a monster on the field. So we were just late on that thrust. Very bad thrust, but that's okay. We got the Shang-Ri activating the standby phase, come forth and summoning the Unicorn. Now the Goza match, which would not even be activatable. And you don't even know it's a Goza match. That does not reveal. That is private knowledge. You don't take that information into game 2. Unless you were to attach it, then look at it, and then you would know for game 2. So maybe the Gozan surprise will do something. Double Daruma. We Daruma-ing it up. This is quite interesting, but if we do anything to make that thrust activatable, you bet that Harpy Feather Duster is coming to the hand, probably. There's no side deck in today's event, so everything you see is worth main decking. Let's go. Gozan. Locking you into a single attribute, which Kashtira's got quite the bit of different attributes. They got fire, wind, earth, dark, Harpy Feather Duster, but there's no body on the field to then add it to the hand to make it usable. So we got a little too excited with that thrust. Daruma's going to be flipping down the Unicorn. Daruma is a great option for the deck of Labrynth, but the effect of sending a monster to the graveyard will not be triggering your Labrynth effects because it is not the effect sending it to the graveyard, it is the opponent sending it to the grave. But now we get Harpy Feather Duster. We saw it coming. Yeah, okay. Big welcome into Lady. Lady come back to the hand. Actually, none of that's going to happen because we got negated by Ash. Let's get out of here. Even thrusting for a 1 turn later Harpy Feather Duster, winning the duel. Thrust has won that duel. Very well done. Double change of heart for the Kashtira matchup. Oh my Jesus. We're going to be special summoning that Fenrir, searching for the Rise Heart, and now we got the Planet Pathfinder to grab the field spell, which interestingly, we did not start with that play to get Unicorn a special summon. Despite that, we got Rise Heart banishing in Ogre, and I mean, this is not that good, but if we opened with Pathfinder, it could have been pretty good. We have Diva to the hand. Now, if he change of hearts and makes his own Rise Heart, that would be quite interesting, because you did activate that Shangri. Does a Spright player have room for it? I'm not going to check. It's going to be a secret. Change of heart, taking the Fenrir. Diva into Diva, special summon the red. We did not make an Arise Heart, so maybe we're not playing it. And now we got the Elf. Elf into Diva from the grave. We're gonna make our Gigantic Spright untargetable from that impermanence. You held on to it, and it's gonna get ashed anyway. So non-target negate, very well done, but the red, ooh, this is so interesting. So you are now targetable by the Imperm, but then you could Book of Eclipse, and then you could detach the material from your face-down Gigantic Spright after you Eclipse. Are we gonna see that? I wanna see it. Eclipse it. Imperm negating the red. Okay, yes, we still do that play. We still Eclipse, flip down the field, Gigantic Spright detach from the face-down Gigantic Spright. Yes! Let's go, let's do it! Lip it down, dodging the Imperm, negating the Ash, Gigantic Spright, face down with the materials. I don't like how this looks. Should they, I want to see the materials under it while it's face down. It looks weird. I think Konami needs to change how the game looks now that things are going face down a lot more often. It wasn't really a big deal before, but now it is. Going face down is big. Konami, update that right now. I could have swore like that was already a thing. I don't know. This looks so weird. It always did not show the materials visually. Elf. Wait, in Duel Links, you could see the materials face down? Really? What the heck? Duel Links is further than Master Duel? Dark Ruler! No more. Negating the Elf. You're not going to be reborning from the graveyard. We could start her into a carrot to negate a spell or trap. Grabbing the Kashtira Birth, which could summon a banished or in-grave Kashtira. Now, Luigi's going to be thinking that he could also be normal summoning a Kashtira, which he can because we searched for the Kashtira Scareclaw, which we're going to special summon instead, banishing the Shangri. Anything we battle into is going to immediately be negated, banishing the untargetable blue as we attack into the Elf. Goodbye to the Gigantic Spright there. And that is a full field wipe as we banish from the extra deck the Zeus. No Zeus play for you. Very well done. Monsters you control gain 100 for each different attribute on the field. And because we battled into an Exceed, we could make Zeus off of this as we're detaching material to get poppin'. And then we maybe want to make Zeus, or we're going to pop the newly summoned card maybe. Maybe we just pop it. Maybe we don't Zeus. You activate a spell. I'm going to banish 3 cards from your graveyard face down, and the red is potentially a one of. The jet is definitely a one of as it's limited to 1. Red is more than a one of here. I do think a lot of Spright players have moved on to be playing 2 carrot and 2 red. We, instead of making the Zeus, we are popping. Very nice. And we do have Book of Moon to get wiped out by the Harpy Feather Duster. Going to have to respond to a Deep Sea Diva. Not activating the Deep Sea Diva to play around the Fenrir. What is going on here? So we trigger, you banish, I summon. Okay. I'm going to summon a Dark. I'm going to banish the cat. Should we have waited with Fenrir to banish whatever you're summoning? Because on the resolution here, we could then banish the blue. And if we banish the blue, the carrot, it actually would not be special summonable. So that is interesting, actually. Because the carrot requires a link 2. The mannequin cat is an exceed. But maybe he would have searched for something that could have been summonable. But what would you search for? Because the jet limited to 1 is gone. So I don't think we even had a play if we would have waited to banish the blue. Thus, we would be stuck with the cat. But then the cat could swing over the Ash Blossom, making a Zeus that is banished. So there wasn't even a Zeus play. Gigantic Spright into the Swap Frog. Yeah, so holding the Fenrir for blue, that was the play. Very nice, and it looks like it does not even matter. Top decking the Cosmic Cyclone, searching for the Unicorn. That could be tribute summoned over the field we have. We're going to be banishing the Swamp Frog, taking out the Gigantic Spright, going 2,800 direct. Are we tribute summoning for that Unicorn? We are not. We're leaving it just like this. If you answer my field, I will follow up with the Unicorn. Instead of revealing that I play a Kaiju, let's just end this duel, take this to game 2. Let's go. Luigi lost game 1, chose to go second with main decking cards like Change of Heart. It does make sense. Imperming the Pathfinder before it activates. That's what you definitely want to be doing. Emergency teleporting the Gamma onto the field, Diva into Diva, Shokan into Elf. And by doing this, it plays around impermanence. Very well done. Protecting the Gigantic Spright, not shotgunning the Gigantic Spright right away. Summon for the deck. Jet also protected from the impermanence, always being mindful of that. And it looks like we're setting up for a Gamma Burst play. Blue, as we could finally get imperming, confirming that we outplayed your impermanence. Very nice. And surely this is enough damage. Boost up the field to 11,000 damage, taking out the Planet Pathfinder as Pariah is quickly scooping it up. Let's go to game 3. No hand trap in sight. Let's speed this up. Gigantic Spright. Gonna be summoning our blue. Blue into the jet. Jet into the non-target banish of any card on the fields. Elf can reborn a card from the graveyard. We got the Diva, and we're not playing the Melfi engine, as you can see there. Harpy Feather Duster, a really good top deck even. What the heck was that? We have Spright Starter, which had we started the carrot onto the field within the draw phase, we could have negated that Harpy Feather Duster, but instead we'll negate something else. So we do lose the Smashers, but the carrot's still good. Unicorn is going to be negated and destroyed. Would it be better to leave the Unicorn in the field so that they can't summon the Fenrir? We are destroying it. Could also normal summon that Pathfinder. Fenrir into the Rise Heart. Normal summon that Pathfinder. We already used up our negate. Do we negate the field spell from searching for a Scareclaw Kashtira? We have the Birth. We're going to be using the carrot to negate the Theosis from summoning a monster from the deck. We don't even really need this field spell. I mean, we are well set up. The Kashtira is good. This is a really good turn 2 play. This is insane. We've got the Scareclaw Kashtira completely dismantling the field. We have no more disruptions. Banishing 3 face-down cards. Goodbye to the Thrust and a Ronin Totem, likely a one of. Ogre searching for a big bang to bang the field later on, possibly. If we don't lethal this turn, that is. Elf is going to be reborning the Jet. Jet searching for a follow-up play for the next turn. If our life is too low, we can't activate Starter. Starter deals damage equal to the Spright we summon. So that is definitely an issue. We're going to look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and we're going to know exactly what you're drawing next turn. Banishing Teleport to now draw into an impermanence. Okay? Every monster we swing into is immediately going to be negated by the Scareclaw Kashtira. Very nice that we have that animation. Now, we are Shang-Riing it up, set up into the Red Eyes Flare Metal. Every time a card is activated, inflict 500 damage. So we're going to burn for the starter. We knew the impermanence was going to be drawn. Shang-Ri not being the one negated, afraid that we're going to burn to death. We're going to Kaiju over the Shang-Ri. Now we have to deal with just the Fenrir. Even the Big Bang is not activatable. The Birth is going to banish 3 cards face down from the graveyard here. And will the Fenrir banish the blue on the resolution of adding the red, not knowing that there's a teleport to make a play with the red? Goodbye, and now we cannot make Zeus. We're locked out of Zeus. We're in Link level 2, rank 2 only. Elf Reborn the red. Shokan into a big, gigantic Spright, 3,200 attack. Not bigger than the Kaiju we gave them. He's just like, yeah, this is not going to work out. He's got the Birth follow-up. He's got the Fenrir follow-up. We kind of have to deal with that Flare Metal. Well, you know, we also timed out, or maybe we rage quit and walked away from the game. I doubt that Luigi did that. So just like that, Kashtira advancing to the grand finale. Pariah representing Kashtira. Let's go. The heck is that? Pass? Okay. Ash in the draw. Pada E. Get ready. Oh my gosh. 2 Arise Hearts are now gone. And the argument was that you're going to lose your Zeus if you Pada E. And we lost Zeus. Zeus is gone. A lot of people are playing 3 Arise though. Please tell me you're playing 3. Of course. I mean, you're playing Pada E. You got to play 3 of all your stuffs. Yeah. And as you see there is Omega. Omega attached under Arise, and then you also attach the Zeus. You could use the Omega to shuffle back in the Zeus. You're fine as long as you don't banish your 3 Arise Heart, which almost happened. What's the math on that? 15 cards, 3 Arise, banishing all 3 with a banish 6. It's really unlikely, I'm sure. And we are going to use our normal summon because we are under max C, thanks to the Birth allowing us to do that. Setting an artifact, I keep saying artifact lance. It is a forbidden lance making us unaffected from spell and traps, which doesn't work against Herald of the Abyss, by the way, which we didn't even care to use because the Birth would then reborn it. Leaving up a Fenrir in the Kashtira matchup is a recipe for disaster, as they're going to continually add cards to the hand. We'll be searching for another Birth. That is no good. Now we're making the Dark Arm Dragon of Annihilation to pop cards on the field. Detach material, banish the Unicorn. Detach material, banish the Osis, add back the Unicorn back to our hand. Very well done here. Now, we are going to perform that regular normal summon, special summon our Kashtira Scareclaw. We have a confusing lethal damage because it's in defense, it's not calculating it. But that is more than enough for lethal damage. Taking out April for game 1. Can't just sit on Maxi and hope that that is enough. April bricking horribly though. It's not their fault. We do have to be careful of our Super Poly monsters being banished by Unicorn. We have Tragedy, come to me, Alubur, Albion, sending from the decks of the graveyard, the Albaz. Now the Cartesia could be special summoned to play around a Veiler or an Impermanence on the Alubur, searching for the branded fusion. Same thing with the Lubellion or Albion being summoned. It is protected from Impermanence. We're going to summon a Rinbrum instead. You generally summon Rinbrum if you have a way to banish the Mercurier you send from the deck to the graveyard, which is what we did. So we're going to use the Bestial, banishing the Mercurier. Mercurier is going to be activating, searching our deck for the Kits. Kit is going to be a special summon and searching for a branded spell or trap. We have Lubellion setting up to give us a branded spell or trap into the back row, which will be our branded Lost. We can now use our Cartesia to trigger the branded Lost to give us a Mercurier or a monster negate. Rinbrum could also negate an extra deck monster and spin a monster on the field back to the hand. We are now going to be ready to negate and spin. We have Garura being sent to the graveyard with the Gangrene Null, drawing a card off of that, searching for a Branded in White. Branded in White is going to be setting up and summoning our Mirror Jade. So we have non-target monster banish, negate an extra deck monster, negate any monster. We're negating right now to spin a monster back to our hand, probably the Kit, right? Kit back to the hand. Also got the Super Polys. Very well done. And we got the Branded Banishment. Cartesia, recycle back. We got about 4 to 5 disruptions because the double Super Poly. Mirror Jade is a soft per 2 turns, but because it was negated, it is activatable to banish. Book of Moon on the Mirror Jade, not chaining Mirror Jade to banish the Unicorn, as I guess they didn't want them to summon the Fenrir from the hand, which does in a way make sense. Okay. We're going to be adding the Scare Claw, banishing Theosis with nothing to add back. Super Palmerize with Earth. In Earth, nope, we're not. We're going to summon Moo Dragon. Okay. Triggering the Branded Lost to grab the Albion. Kashtira birthing a Fenrir from the hand onto the field. Moo Dragon is activating, making it so you cannot target our dark monsters with your Fenrir, thus being forced to banish our Branded Lost. Unicorn banishing from the extra deck here. So did he get tricked into activating the Fenrir early before could have attacked over Moo Dragon, then done so? It could have also just attacked into the Moo Dragon, immediately negating it with the Scare Claw, then target whatever you wanted. Got Cartesia adding back during the end phase. Now, this is not an end phase effect. We are using the effect of the Rinrum to summon an Albaz onto the field to potentially get Fusion. Discarding, fusing with the Scare Claw to make a Sprind Iron Dash. Move this card to another main zone, then destroy all other face-up cards in this card's column. What the heck just happened? Just wiping out Fenrir in Birth within the same column? Ain't no way. Triggering the Fenrir and the Unicorn did not chain link block the Fenrir from the Mercurier that was added to the hand that we knew was there. We could have put the Unicorn on chain link too. That is going to be a negate. Maybe we really wanted to banish from the extra deck. We really want to get rid of that Lubellion. Get rid of that Lubellion. Cartesia special summonable if we have an Albaz in the graveyard. Kit special summonable if we have an Albaz fusion on the field or in the grave. Add back the white, return the opening. We could use the white fusing with an Albaz in the graveyard, which is exactly what we're doing to make the Borreload Furious Dragon. And to battle we go. Borreload Furious popping the kit, plus taking out the Fenrir, banishing the Unicorn off of the field, opening it up for 10,000 damage. Lethal. As we now go to game 3. Kashtira wants to go first, right? Right? They don't want to go second. Let's find out. Unicorn. The Herald of the Abyss is for purely, but it's not bad against this match either. It could deal with the Arise. And there is the Arise. Set to pass, we have Forbidden Lance and Book of Moon. Lance will protect us from spell and traps. We are summoning our Unicorn. And all day today, every single Kashtira player played into Nibiru, but people are not playing Nibiru. What's going on? We're going to be using the Albaz to fuse with the field. There is not 3 materials with the O. That does not work. That you could fuse with face downs. That does nothing. It doesn't do anything. It just does not do anything. Okay, fusing with the Arise into Mirror Jade, but now we know. Activating the Lost, and the reason why Fenrir is responding to a fusion summon is because the Branded Lost actually missed the timing thanks to the mandatory effect of the Arise Heart, making it activatable in response to the summon of the Mirror Jade. Unicorn also activating, banishing from the extra deck, and we're gonna toss on top of that, banishing a card, monster face down that is. Goodbye to the Shangri, indestructible by battle, so it could be quite annoying to deal with. Also, that 3,000 booty is quite large. Still have our normal summon, and we got Thrust. What are we thrusting into? Is there anything like a Branded Fusion? Not that we need it, we have Alibur searching for that, but if we do not grab Branded Fusion with it, what else do we grab? It's gonna be the follow-up. We'll decide what to use later. Albion, we cannot chain to this in any way whatsoever. The Lost is giving us that blanket protection here. Into Masquerade. Every effect activation will be resulting in you burning for 600. Got the Rinbrom. If an extra deck monster activates, even if our own, we can negate it, then spin a card in the field back to the hand, a monster. Branded in white, which could fuse using the graveyard, banishing 3 for a Proskenian. Proskenian could steal Arise Heart. Like, what? Come to me! Arise! How? Lance in the damage step to reduce the Arise Heart, being forced to swing in. Goodbye to Arise. Now, we are going to be wiping out the Fenrir. Proskenian burning for 2,400, the monster destroyed by battle. and then smacking him for 25. Perfect lethal damage. Just like that, Branded Despia advancing to the grand finale to play against Kashtira again. The Book of Moon incident was unfortunate. What I do want to say is everyone should start touching up on their flip down rulings yesterday. Now, maybe I'll make a video on all the situations of Book of Moon and what happens, and does it forget that how it was summoned? It doesn't. And if you were to Book of Moon chain impermanence to an effect, it actually wipes the imperm away. So it's not something like leaving the field. So that's another interesting thing, how Book of Moon operates differently than removal. Good job to you. Also, taking control rulings, understanding that a soft once per turn is tied to the card. A hard once per turn is tied to the player. Get ready for the grand finale. Grand finale, Branded Despia versus Kashtira. So many people today were playing Herald of the Abyss, which has hard countered purely because of Thrust adding it to the hand. Thus, Purely is nowhere to really be seen in the top 16. I think there was only one. So that is a big meta shift in today's event, in addition to Kashtira now existing. Hajime. Shang-Ri in the standby phase, summoning the Unicorn. If a monster effect is activated, Unicorn will look at the extra deck banish, and the Fenrir will banish a face-up card if we want to. If you battle into any of the Kashtira cards here, the Scareclaw is going to immediately be negating your monster. Also, any card sent to the graveyard is banished. So what do? We start off with Herald of the Abyss, declaring Dark and Machine. So the Kashtira Arise Heart is now going to the graveyard. To the grave you go, banishing the Big Bang and the Theosis, so both cards could be activating here. We're going to target the Shang-Ri, and we're going to be summoning whatever is its material. It is a Unicorn. It's going to be adding back to the hand, then back onto the field. Then also adding the Rise Heart for next turn. Very well done here. We have a nice wall of Kashtira monsters, plus the Scareclaw protecting us. We do have Ash Blossom for the Branded Fusion. Unicorn is now activating, banishing a Perskenian from the extra deck. Shang-Ri locking up a third zone. This is turning into a problem here. We now have Branded Lost. You cannot respond to a fusion summon. We're going to be revealing the Mirror Jade, special summoning an Albaz. Albaz is going to be discarding a card to fuse with the Shang-Ri. Birth is going to be chain banishing 3 cards from the opponent's graveyard face down. And I guess the fusion resolves. As we now resolve this into freeing up our zones to make a Mirror Jade. Mirror Jade is here, activating the loss, activating the Mirror Jade to banish a card in the field non-targeting. Now the Fenrir cannot chain to this because in response to the fusion summon of a monster, the Branded Loss protects your cards from being responded to. Goodbye Fenrir before it even was able to activate. So we just lost the Fenrir without activating. Cartesia is going to be our special summon. Now finally, we Branded Fusion after all those baits. We did not take the bait. We saved the Ash for the Branded Fusion. Do not let them eat your Ash through any other way. Now we're going to Cartesia. Fusion summon into the Gangrenol. Make sure your Cartesia is on Chain Link 1 to get that blanket protection of the Branded Lost, as the Serenir could not be responded to, nor the Gangrenol, as we sent a card from the deck or extra deck to the graveyard, which will be an Albion. Could have been a Garura to draw a card if we wanted. We're going to send the Branded in white. We're then going to use the Retribution to add the Branded in white in the graveyard to our hand to now fuse with the graveyard if we have an Albaz in the grave, which we do, banishing 2 to summon a Borreload Furious Dragon. Borreload could pop a monster we control plus a card on the field, taking out the Scareclaw Kashtira. Goodbye to the Unicorn, goodbye to the other Unicorn, and then we have 3,000 damage to the face. So what are our plays? We already used the Mirror Jade. We could still use the Borreload. We could Monster Negate with the Mercurier. So we only have 2 disruptions. That's it. Surely we could play through 2 disruptions. Special summoning Unicorn activating to grab the Theosis. Birth is going to birth our Banish Fenrir back onto the field, activating the Borreload to take out the Fenrir before it activates. Unicorn is going to be activating to banish the other copy of Mirror Jade from the extra deck face down. Theosising a Fenrir onto the field, now searching for the Ogre. There's only one more disruption. Summoning our Rise Heart, birthing the Ogre onto the field, banishing from the deck to banish 3 cards face down. That's going to trigger the Theosis to grab a Big Bang to use later. To battle we go. Ogre on attack's going to be looking at the top 5 cards of the deck, banishing one of them face down, then putting the rest back in the same order. So he's guaranteed to draw a thrust. Now the Mirror Jade's activating to wipe out the entire field of monsters during the end phase, unless we summon a Shangri to protect itself from destruction. We're going to be suiciding into the Borreload. The Mercurier is no longer activatable. Goodbye to the Fenrir as the Shangri protects itself. Now the Shangri did not activate during the standby phase to summon. Now we're going to use the Big Bang. Big Bang is going to be banishing from both players' monster zones until they have one monster only. So goodbye to Alibur or the Cartesia as we fuse with the hand still. Cartesia banished. And now we are making our Masquerade. Now, the reason we didn't use Shangri is we know what the top cards of the deck is. They are guaranteed to draw into the thrust. We saw it. They added it. We don't want to trigger it. The Lost is activating to grab the Kit. Kit could special summon, search for a card, return the thrust back into the deck. The Kashtira Birth is banishing 3 cards face down, as we now have Kit to give us a branded fusion from the graveyard. Didn't you just banish 3 cards from the grave and it wasn't the branded fusion? Oh my Jesus. Branded fusion, sending from the deck to the grave to make an Albion. Albion is here, activating to banish from the grave to make a Rinbrum. I think we're out of Mirror Jades. They're all gone. We're going to be summoning Lubellion by tributing the Albion. Albion during the end phase activating, chaining to the Albion to spin the Shangri back to the extra. Very interesting. Very well done. And now, we could birth, we could reinforce into the Rise Heart. Let's see what we could do. Burning for 600 on every effect activation. We have the Scareclaw Kashtira. To the battle phase we go, negating the Rinbrum, taking it out. Now, Rinbrum could special summon if there is an Albaz in the graveyard. There is not. So, Birth, Scareclaw Kashtira. What do we have here? 2900 defense, okay. Adding a branded opening with no card to discard to use its effect. We're now going to be making a Verte Anaconda. Huh? You timed out? Because you can't surrender in the grand finale. He says he disconnected. I trust you. All right, let's go to game 2. I'll ban him anyway. Double Cosmic Cyclone, that is quite interesting. We could be using it on the branded Lost. We have the Pathfinder finding our Pressure Planet. Are you all convinced to play Pathfinder yet? Initially, I wasn't really so. I did review an OCG deck that was using it, and apparently it is the way. We'll be grabbing the Rise Heart. Rise Heart is special summoning, and we are now playing into a Nibiru, but that is okay for a bigger and better field. Banishing 3 cards off the top of their deck. Wow. I mean, that's it. Limited to 1 branded fusions, banish face down. It's gone forever. Unless you make an Rise Heart and attach it, and then Rise Heart goes to the grave. So you could theoretically take control of your opponent's Rise Heart or their Shangri. If it activated, then make your own Rise Heart, and then attach your branded... I mean, it's not going to happen. It's not happening. We're going to Theosis, add a Kashtira card that's banished back to the hand. That's going to be really interesting to see. How is branded without branded fusion? How? How can that work? It doesn't work, right? Shangri did activate. We're going to be summoning that Unicorn, activating the Alibur, grabbing a banishment, not even a spell. Fenrir banishing the Alibur, triggering the Unicorn, also triggering the Shangri. Shangri is going to be locking up zones now. Goodbye to a Mirror Jade. And we have 1 more Mirror Jade, just 1 left. Rise Heart get attaching, Shangri activate again. This is why Rise Heart says once per chain, and Shangri doesn't. 3 zones locked up, making sure to not attach the branded fusion. That'd be a huge mistake. Double Cosmic Cyclone at not even the end phase, the end of the main phase, okay. End of main phase, banishing 2 trap cards. That's kind of BM not waiting for the end phase. And did not use them on separate chain links to ensure that the Arise Heart could absorb more cards attached to it. Not that it really matters here. It just like that. 9,000 damage, over 10,000 thanks to the Scareclaw Kashtira not being calculated. Let's take this to game 3. April, was it over as soon as Rise Heart randomly banishes a branded fusion? Like, that's it. You wanted to surrender, right? Let's go to game 3. Now, if we read a card like Lubellion from game 2, which we had 3 of in our hand, the card states that you could send this card from your hand to the graveyard to add a Bestial, which is not a legal play if there is an Arise Heart on the field. Thus, 3 dead cards, triple Lubellion, that's a huge problem. But if you read a card like Lubellion, Lubellion states that you could discard 1 card, and it does not have to go to the graveyard. But if you read a card like Max C has to go to the graveyard. So understand the differences of cards to pay their cost that have to go to the graveyard versus ones that could just discard and it does not matter whether it goes to the grave or gets banished. And with that said, game 3. Pot of Desires and Pathfinder, 2 consistency cards that I believe a lot of people are not playing initially, but after this tournament, I think they're going to start playing. There's no Pathfinder, no Pot of Desires being played in any of the TCG deck lists, I could tell you that. OCG was coping with pretty much both of these cards, actually. We now have Cartesia and the branded opening, discarding to come forth and summon the Alibur. Serenir sending a card from the deck to the graveyard. We are holding that Ash for the branded fusion no matter what. We're not spending it on anything else. It just like that. Though the activation cannot be negated due to the branded lost, the effect can and will be negated. Now, what do? From here, we are going to be fusing with the Cartesia to make the Gangrenol. And with the Gangrenol, we're going to send from the deck or extra deck to the graveyard, also triggering the branded lost to add possibly a Albaz. Albaz, you already used up our normal summon. Sending an Albion from the extra deck to the grave. It will be activating during the end phase. And we now have a branded in white. Using the Albaz and the Gangrenol to now make a Mirror Jade for the non-target monster banish. Now you think Super Poly has nothing to discard, but it does. You're just gonna have to wait. Adding a branded banishment, Cartesia activating because a fusion was sent to the graveyard this turn, and we can discard that to get fusing. This is pretty good against Kashtira. If you go first with it, we're going to be not randomly. We know exactly what we're banishing. We're banishing the banishment with the Cosmic Cyclone, chaining the banishment to reborn the Alibur, and that's it. We're not going to be fusing because we want the Alibur to be activating. Makes sense. Very well done. Now, Book of Moon flipping down the non-target monster banish, sending Rinbrum to the graveyard, which is now giving us the ability to special summon the Albaz from the graveyard to fuse with our fields. That is a problem. Pathfinder, finding the path for our field spell here. We have Super Poly and Rinbrum, double disruption. We need double of the same attribute on the field to be making the play, or a dark monster plus our dark monster. Albaz is going to be fusing with the Unicorn. This is a very interesting play here, as the Unicorn could just grab our Birth to rebirth it on the field to then use Theosis on. Now Sprint. Okay, what is going on? Only during your main phase can you pop cards on the field, so what does this do during your opponent's turn? Nothing. It's just to fuse with the Unicorn. Lost searching for Mercurier, which will be a negate though. Pot of Desires. We didn't have a birth because, where did our no birth search? Harpy Feather Duster, wiping out the back row. Goodbye to the Super Polymerization, but they have Mercurier. Oh my cheeses. Let's go, let's go. We are going to be going straight to the battle phase with 7,000 damage. That is enough for lethal damage. And just like that, Branded Despia is your winner. Wow. Kashtira falling to Branded Despia. Did not even need to use the Super Poly that I was expecting to be used. Harpy Feather Duster now going to be seeing a lot more use thanks to the thrust here. Very well done. Decade Meta Weekly with the new box release. This is with the release of Arise Heart. I have no idea what the breakdown is. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. It is Kashtira. Oh, wait, what? 9 in the top 16? I don't remember watching that much Kashtira. What? No, this has to be incorrect. We watched the entire top 16. Was it really 9 Kashtira? Wow. That is really, I guess we thought Kashtira looked bad because it was all Kashtira, so it was bound to look bad because everyone was playing it, so okay, it makes sense. And only 1 Purely? Starting off with Purely in the top 16. How did the deck change? A lot of people are changing their decks up. We're main decking Book of Moon to flip down that Arise Heart. Unfortunately, Arise Heart ensures that Lily can't go into an Exceed. So you are solely reliant on your Purely, which is not that bad because you could very likely go into a Zeus if they don't banish it with Unicorn. That does suck. Or if you could get lucky enough to go into a Happiness to then attack 4 times, still make your X Purely Nor. So good job to you. Also the Kurikara in the main deck. Happy to see that. Going on up. I am interested how all the Kashtira decks are being played. I'm focusing on Pathfinder and Pot of D. Reinforcement of the army with triple Rise Heart, triple Pathfinder. Main deck in the Dimension Shifter, which I don't think everyone's going to be doing here. Triple Path for 1 field spell. Isn't that something? I would think that if we're playing Pathfinder, I would play maybe the Scareclaw field spell in addition, because most people summon their monsters in defense, and then you could activate the field spell, search for the Scareclaw Kashtira, then pop a card in the field before you pop off. Very well done. No thrust, by the way. Keep on going. Shelmy. Pathfinder's the way. All right, Pathfinder's the way. Enemy controller in the main deck, triple Quadra Kaiju. Tier Limit Kashtira instead of Scareclaw. You're not playing Scareclaw, you're playing the Tier Limit Kashtira instead. That is definitely noteworthy. Double thrust into the Dimensional Barrier, the max CU, set the Dimensional Barrier. You're fine. Good job to you. Keep on going. We have Ghost Mourner. Okay, again. Triple Pathfinder. Looking for Pot of D still. Very well done. Kimmy, good job. We do have Nibiru's here and there. So while a lot of people, and we got the package, the 10,000 damage package, which is Gravity Controller, Absolute Dragon, the Overlord Dragon, and the Rebellion Dragon to deal 10,000 damage. On paper, it's a good idea, but does it ever really happen? I would like to test it myself. And then we got this deck list here, Pot of D with the Pathfinder. Yep, this is it. This is something. You could Pathfinder, and they maybe use Ash. They Gamma. Okay, Gamma. Gamma into Omega. Omega letting you recycle your cards that have been used up, like the Zeus. Very nice. Then we have Scareclaw with new... Scareclaw Kashtira, that is. 1 Theosis, 1 Twin Saw. Twin Saw pop 2 cards in the field. That's a good card. Also Anti-Link, making it so Link monsters cannot activate. And we're also playing DPE in this build. 40 card deck with Adventure. This is... I'm going to put this on my list of decks to play. Definitely trying this out. And then Psycho. 2 Pathfinder instead of 3. We got the Eclipse playing Preparation and Ogre. We got the 1 Nibiru for the Crossout Designate. All right, let's keep on going. Then Releaso. 1 Nibiru, no Crossout Designate. We got the Pathfinder. Everyone is finding the path. Nice, let's keep on going. Saucy Senpai. I thought you usually play 60 card decks, so this is interesting. Triple thrust into the Herald of the Abyss. They draw with the X Purely Nor. You send their Nor to the graveyard. You win. They max CU. You set a Dimensional Barrier. That's good. Very, very good. I would like to play this package in almost every deck I play. Good job, Saucy Senpai. Moving on. Vaughn with triple Daruma, flipping the whole field face down with this. Not playing thrust. We got Pot of E, Pot of P. And besides that, yeah, the Daruma cannon. It works out. And then Yuri with Punk Kashtira. Unfortunately lost to a pure Kashtira duel, a match that is, but also beat pure Kashtira, so it was back and forth. Very nice. Good job, Yuri. Then Coconut. bravely entering the tournament with everyone summoning a Rise, as all your cards are banished when sent to the grave, or your cards can't even activate, like your Bestial Lubellion has to be sent from the hands of the grave to search for the Bestial. And then what are the Bestials banishing if everything is not in the graveyard? This is really the turning point for the Bestials. They're gonna, if they have not already dropped enough in usage, they're gonna fall off the map because there's nothing to banish. And then we have Luigi, 41 card, triple Kaiju. We got the Thrust, double Change of Heart, Gamma Bursting, Book of Eclipsing. We got the Nibiru. Good job, Luigi. And the extra deck, double Shadow Mosquito. Okay. And then Matrix, top 4. We have anything crazy here? Triple Book of Moon, triple Forbidden Lance. How well did this work? Well, if people are playing Book of Moon and Book of Eclipse, you counter it with the Forbidden Lance. And then sometimes the damage step play of reducing comes into being clutch and helping you win the duel. Pot of E, really controversial. I know a lot of people are going to attack you for playing this card, and it's this or Pot of D. So you tell me the math of banishing 3 Arise with a banish 6, and you have 15 cards in your extra deck. I'll look it up later. Pariah Life, second place, the best performing Kashtira deck, so it does deserve a little bit more attention to detail. 1 Rise with 1 reinforcement. That is something, okay. And what else is interesting here? We got the Pot of D. We have Dark Ruler No More comboed up with the Thrust. Thrust at 2. Grab the Dark Ruler No More. No preparations, but we do have the Ogre, triple Imp. Cosmic Cyclone is interesting. What else? Extra deck, anything crazy here? So the Master of Blades being something that you may want to be using. When a card effect is activated that targets this card, detach a material, negate the activation, then you could destroy 1 card in the field. Interesting. And first place, Branded Despia, April, 40 card clean, playing the triple Thrust into the Herald of the Abyss. Branded Despia has been struggling against Purely, and this is the way. They thrust into the Herald until they start playing around this, which I did talk about that within the tournament. So very well done. Triple Super Poly, which surprisingly worked kind of decent against Kashtira. If you go first, set it up, could fuse with their Shang-Ri and their Rise. You could fuse with your Dark Monster and their Rise Heart, that is. And then we have the extra deck, very well done. And if you're looking at the article yourself, you could click on just for the Kashtira or just the Spright, Live Twin Spright, very cool. And thank you very much. That is it. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, watching as much of the video as you can. This is why we keep on uploading them. And with that said, I'll see you in the $2,000 tournament MCS this Saturday, 2 p.m. IST. Let's go.